The patch notes. They're here. I'll link them for y'all in chat, but I'll also review them here. Alright. Let's see what we got. Tomorrow we're planning to release this, so this just came out, which means within the next 24 hours we should get this patch. New endgame tower maps, checkpoints for map areas. Huge! But wait. What is this going to do for us if we only get one life? Respawn attempts for the Arbiter of Ash, many monster changes, unique changes, improvements, and bug fixes. Let's see, 4 new tower maps. Alpine Ridge, Bluff, Mesa, and Sinking Spire. So that's just for the, like, lost towers. That's nice, because having literally one layout is pretty fucking boring. Lost Towers map area has also been revamped. Very cool. To address the problem of only adding one attempt at the Herald Arbiter of Ash, boss fight, you'll now have 6 respawn attempts to this fight. Respawns can only be triggered by the person who put in the keys. Everyone in your party will respawn at the same time. Interesting. Leaving the map still forwards your attempts, so you need to fight the boss with the build you walked into the map with. Higher difficulties will lower the number of respawn attempts you receive. We're looking to add respawn attempts to other pinnacle content over time. So, if you still only have 6 portals, and you go in with 6 people, can you do 6 full 6-man respawns? Is that what I'm reading? Sorry, maybe I should go on D&D while I'm trying to read patch notes, so I don't get trades. Arbiter of Ash can no longer be interrupted during his Falling Flame Seed skill. His Flaming Gale skill can no longer be blocked. I don't know what either of those are. Very cool. Hey, we made this helmet earlier, and we weren't sure if it was worth anything, so I guess it's selling for 100. Cool, 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 cool. I could have kept chaosing it to try to get rid of that hybrid roll. To try to maybe get more ES out of it, but I think as is, it's still pretty solid. Come on, dude, I gotta read patch notes. Ah! Alright. Added checkpoints to map areas. Map areas now contain a minimum of 3 rares. That's cool. I've seen some maps with like 1. Citadels can now appear closer to the center. Good, good. Improves the visibility of citadels. I think they're adding like a light beam basically on your map. What's the button for Atlas? U? No. Control U? Oh my god, I don't know what it is. I'm clicking the map device. So this thing, they're gonna add like a big light beam off the screen so you can find your citadels easier, I think is what that's for. Maps now display their biome. That's nice, so we can actually farm specific biomes that we like. Added the new Overseer's Precursor Tablet, a currency item which can be placed in completed towers to add map bosses. This is great. These tablets drop from map bosses, can control exclusive modifiers that affect map bosses. So this is a huge buff to sustaining maps. That's sick. Map areas have been adjusted to have more distinct specialties for the content they contain. For example, one map area might have more total monsters, and others more likely to contain strong boxes, essences, or shrines. Generally speaking, the more difficult a map is to clear, the smaller it is, the more axes it will specialize in. Here's an overview of changes to give maps more discernibility. Up to double the number of chests, twice as many minimum magic or rares, double the number of monsters, 50% more magic, 50% more rare, higher minimum number of rares, a lower minimum number of rares. Wait, why would they do lower if they added this? So you can just get a lower minimum of 3 still? Is that what that means? Or am I reading that weird? 50% more chance to contain essences, strong boxes, or shrines. This is cool. I like the map specialization. So if you find a biome or a type of map that you like, you can just farm it. If you like essences, for example, you could target farm maps that have essences. I like that. It's going to take a while for the community probably to mark them all out, which one's which, but if it says it on the map would be nice too. If it actually said it on the atlas that this map has a higher chance of essences or something, that would be sick. Maps that are only exclusively found in biomes containing citadels now have a 50% more chance to contain essences, strong boxes, and shrines. So the maps around citadels got a lot stronger too. That's cool. Unclaimed hideout areas have more magic monsters and fewer rares. I feel like these are just kind of dumb. It's like a 1-room map with 20 mobs in it. So we'll see how much substantially more is, but as of right now, I don't feel like this really matters. Monsters in the Untainted Paradise have been breeding. Untainted Paradise now contains 100% more monsters, of which spawn 100% more quadrupled magic and rares. I've done one of these. It was like pretty empty, and it didn't give much XP more than a regular map, if I even noticed at all. It was like the same XP per hour as just doing regular juiced maps. So let's see if this helps. Quadrupling it will definitely help. Improve the highlight ability, clickability of shrines. This is good. I was bitching about this earlier. I struggled to click shrines in the middle of all the mobs, so that's nice. Reduce the damage scaling of monsters in Simulacra. Cool. Adjusted the chance for maps to contain bosses. You should be encountering a boss every 1 in 4 maps. They said this was bugged, where they just couldn't spawn on specific maps. So as you can see, like, a lot of my maps don't have bosses. It should be a 1 in 4. It's like a 1 in 10 maybe right now. So that's also a huge buff to map sustain. Chances for map bosses to drop a waystone of the current tier or higher has been reduced to account for the increase in total map bosses. Well, never mind. Maybe the sustain is the exact same. Yeah, who knows? Radiant Waystone Atlas, notable passive now provides 15% chance for map bosses. So what are they currently? What was it called? Just lost it. Radiant Waystones. God, they need to make these highlights way stronger. So they reduced this. It was, oh, it's literally right there in blind, sorry. I didn't read the full sentence. So they reduced these to compensate for having more map bosses. I don't know how I feel about that. But maybe they already did the math and this is somehow either better or worse sustain than we currently have. I'm not sure they mentioned if they wanted to be better sustain or not. Okay, you can buff your Simulacrum Splinter drops by 50% more, that's cool. Reduce the number of monsters in small chests from breaches by 15%, rip. Increase the amount of splinters found in maps, Simulacrum Splinters, that's good. Those are really hard to find. I think I've only gotten like 60 total so far, and I've finished 2 or 3 breachstones. Dedicated 2D art for waystones that are instilled with layers of delirium. That's nice. I just made a bunch of these, and they look the exact same as regular delirium maps, or regular maps. Where'd they go? Did I already run them all? I might have already ran them all. Never mind. The one I was in was my last one, I guess. Crisis fragments for reach those simulacrums and audience with the king to have a more appropriate gold value to vendors. So I guess if you want to sell them, they're worth more. I don't know why you would sell these. Audience of the king is like 7x, or 7 divines rather. I've sold 2 of those so far. Don't vendor these. Increased how far out you can zoom on the endgame map. Great. There was like a bug exploit type thing to zoom out further, but I guess you don't need to do that anymore, so that's cool. Supercharged Slam has each successive... I haven't played any other skill. I'm going to avoid looking at these because I simply don't know anything about any build other than the one I'm playing. But I assume that these are probably buffs or just fixes in general. Monster changes. Increased toughness per essence modifier affecting them. That sucks. So I guess if you get one that's got like 7, it'll actually be tankier, which I guess kind of makes sense. Small delay before monsters released from essence models can use their skills. That's good. I guess they were probably insta-killing people. Nerfed Forbidden Miners. Nerfed Regia the Dread Engineer. Reduced how far away Plague Bringers can use Detonate Dead from. Oh, thank fuck. I was dying to off-screen detonates a lot. Telegraphing has been improved. Great. I'm probably still going to die to it. Lossman Zealots reduce their range and increase the visual. That's great too. Lightning Storm skill used by Zealots should always strike at the telegraphed marker as opposed to somewhere random. That's funny. Filthy Crow no longer uses their projectile vomit skill point blank in front of you because that's just rude. Now is a basic projectile stack. Does that mean it doesn't have the vomit anymore? Because this definitely killed me a few times in the campaign. But in maps I tend to just one-shot, so I don't notice it anymore. But when I was weaker, this fucking kills things. Oh yeah, skill changes. It doesn't look like they've nerfed any builds hard, really. Right? I'll quick bruise this, but I don't think they nerfed anything like crazy. I think that's going to come in like the League release or Economy reset, whatever they keep calling it. Reduce the leap distance of Vile Vulture's leap skill. Visuals have been improved. That's fine. Reduce axe throwing distance of all axemen. Reduce the area effect for Filthy Firstborn's on-death explosion. That's like the little orange blow-up dudes, right? That's great. Added increase the visibility of the AoE. Also good. Vomit skill used by Ronnie Hawks and Bog Hulks deals less damage and can no longer use point blank. Again, these are all like one-shot mechanics that they're nerfing, which is great. Adjusted the damaged area of the bloated Miller's slam skills to match the visual effect. Great. Same thing with Zalmarath. Same thing for dude. Wait, this is the big dude that I always have issues with in maps, right? He's like the big skeleton guy that comes out of the hole in the ground. He's huge. So hopefully this makes it so I can actually attack him properly, because with my build, it like jumps to the arms, which I guess are no longer targetable, or won't let me hit it at all. So, not sure if this is good or bad yet. We'll see. Adjusted the damaging area of Balak Skyseer's tornadoes. Tornadoes now push you away when they appear, and they now deal less damage when they first appear before ramping. This fucking bird in the trials, when I was trying to get my ascendancy points, I got one shot by him like 3 times in a row. You'd like do a little bit of damage to him, and he'd just drop a tornado on you, and it would insta-kill you. It was so fucking dumb. Like, I couldn't do that area until I got enough like lucky honor mods to just freeze him before he did the tornado and kill him. It was like a completely coin flip if he was just gonna one-shot me or not. So hopefully that's fixed. Reduce how often Prowling Shades can use in his visibility skill. Great. I've been bitching about these guys as well. They go invisible, you can't hit them, they're behind you somewhere jumping around. It's annoying as hell. Adjusted the frequency of Prowling Shades and Gelid Z. That's great. Hopefully it was a nerf because I hate them. And less likely to repeatedly use Eye of Winter. Don't know that one. Improves the visual effects of Firestorm. I don't know if I recognize that one either. These might be the AoE explosions that are hard to see. Improve visibility of Executioner and Guillotine Slam, great. Improve visibility of Cultist Archer skills, Toxic Ray deals less damage. All of these are just great visual changes and like damage reductions, I hope. Mighty Silverfist Commando roll skill deals significantly less damage. I've seen a fair amount of clips of people dying to this roll. That's good. Walking Goliaths no longer deal damage twice when they fall over. I think I've died to these in trials as well. Like, if this is the big skeletons that just, like, fall on you. Deals more damage in the center, less around the edges. Yeah, these are fucked up. I guess they were bugged at hitting twice, too. That's cursed. Reduce the distance at which Urn Walkers in trials are able to initiate their skill. Fix an issue where they were not dealing damage correctly, meaning they now deal more damage. Oh, if this is the homing missile things from the pod guys, they were so tilting, because it's just like a homing missile. You can't really get away from it. They reduced its range and increased its damage. I don't know how I feel about that, because it's pretty fucking hard to avoid them if there's a bunch of them hitting you. So their spitters no longer deal damage twice, they now deal physical instead of chaos. These guys also were killing me in early maps. They're like the snake spitters in Augury map, I think has them a lot. It's just a snake that hits you with chaos. Or I guess it was physical, but now it's... Or you know, it was chaos. It was like deleting my ES and then killing me. Density of monsters in Exile has been reduced. Monsters containing that area are more likely to be of a weaker variety. Is Exile the sun pillared area? Yeah, that guy sucks. Or that area sucks. Improved telegraphing for more detonate dead. Great. Improved telegraphing for Vol Goliath crystals left behind when they die. Chaos pustules and ritual have had their visuals improved. Great. Impending doom modifier in trials. I don't know this one. Telegraphing of the anchor drop from monsters affected by Essence of Torment. Haven't noticed that. Essences I tend to just drop the bell on right as I spawn them and they just die. Improved visuals for Essence of Electricity. Time before it explodes has been increased. Great. More on-death shit probably buffed or nerfed. Volatile plants are much more noticeable before and as they're about to explode. These are the purple tracking chaos plants. I hate these. They're so hard to see and they tend to just kill me anyway. Elemental explosions caused by minion death or those periodically cast by a rare monster have had their visual effects improved. The delay before these explode has been increased. I hope by improved they mean actually shows up on screen before it kills you. The aura from prevents recovery above 50% now has a visible radius. That's huge. That mod sucks. You like start panic flasking as soon as you take damage and it just doesn't help you regen above 50% at all. It's very scary. Energy shield modifiers on monsters provide much more sensible levels of ES. They were probably way too high. Shielding monsters has been re-enabled in the Trial of Chaos. Cool. Alright, let's see. General changes and improvements. Enabled migrating from SSF to their corresponding parent leagues. This can be done from the league migration buttons. So if you want to opt out of SSF, you can do that. Cool. Oh my god, strongboxes spawn faster. Thank god. Strongbox fog effect fades away once the waves have been spawned. Can you just delete the fog effect? Like, I don't think it needs to be there at all. That shit sucks. Increase the chance to encounter research strongboxes. I don't know what a research strongbox is, but that's probably good. Added a visual effect to distinguish which monsters have been spawned by a strongbox. Huge! Oh my god, maybe I'll actually want to click a strongbox now instead of just skipping it because it sucks. Okay, Volcanic Crag, Lightning Storm, Ice Spikes, and Chaos Barrage strongboxes modifiers have been adjusted to activate after a delay. That's fine, I guess. Charms now play in effect when they're automatically used. That's cool. Yeah, you really can't tell when they happen right now unless you have the, like, on-screen little buff buttons active, and even then, if you don't notice it, because you're going to have a bunch of stuff happening up here all the time. That's cool. Socketables such as runes can now be overwritten by placing another socketable item in the socket. This is huge. This means that, like, trading, like, shopping, for example, when I'm shopping for weapons or, like, armor pieces, I tend to search for ones that don't have runes in them, because you couldn't override them, but now you can. So this is great for general gear stuff. That's huge. Attempting to salvage an item highlights which items can be salvaged and displays item sockets. You can turn on item sockets so they're just always on if you don't want to, like, have to worry about that as much. Like, I just have them set to always display so it's not as confusing. But that's cool. Plasma's quality are now able to be salvaged. You can farm glassblower baubles now. That's nice. Armor has been made more effective by 15%, but it's 0% effective, so it's still 0%. What's 50% more of 0? 0. More monsters are now able to be pushed while dodge rolling. This applies to most monsters smaller than a skeleton. Can they just not push us at all? That would be cool, because that shit sucks. But maybe now you can dodge roll out of a like when you're surrounded by monsters, you might be able to dodge roll out of them more. Objects such as delirium shards can no longer be pushed by other monsters. Why were they doing that in the first place? Increase the chance for omens to spawn in ritual rewards. We might be able to access omen crafting as a casual player who doesn't buy omens for 7 divines each. Huge! Reduce the chance for items to roll some of the less desirable item modifiers. Also huge. This is just a generic buff to every rare in the game that drops. And crafting. So, like, thorns, fucking 2 life. I don't even, what other mods are bad? 10% mana regen stuff, accuracy, light radius, all that shit should be reduced or removed. I don't know, fuck it, dude, it's bad. Distilled emotions required to instill a passive skill onto an amulet are now only displayed on the passive skill tree after you've picked up your first distilled emotion. So that's just a new buff, they didn't need to see that info until they got it. Added an exit portal to Trial Master Arena. Cool. Remove the level requirement to access expedition vendors. That's funny, I guess that was happening. Rarity in expedition vendor shops now increases with shop levels, so shops generally have more rare items at higher levels. This does not affect existing shops. You'll need to reuse a reroll currency to generate shops with the improved rarity. Is that like, if this is... This shouldn't matter, right? The second part? Unless I have a shop that's already active. Let me think. Oh, I see what they mean. They're talking about the dudes in your hideout, right? Since they already have a set inventory. You'd have to re-roll this, maybe, is what they mean by that. I don't ever check these, so it's probably fine. I only check the ones in maps. Reduce visual clutter in many maps to improve the visibility. All the, like, maps that have a shitload of trees that, like, just block your view, like, just delete the trees, man. I don't care about those. Added a tutorial for activating persistent buffs, that's great. Fixed inconsistencies for walkability through the campaign and maps, great. Improved loading time of the world map, great. I don't know why this takes so long to load. When you press the waypoint button, if it's not already cached, it takes like ages to load. Like, what? Why? It's just a static image. What is this? Why does this take so long? So I guess they fixed that. Cool. Reduce the initial play revive time to 2.5, previously 3. Reduce the play revive penalty to 1.5 per death, previously 2. I didn't know these existed. I also don't... Like, I guess this is when you're talking about, like, in the campaign. Because in maps, there's, like, if you're playing with another player and they die, you can't revive them in maps. I don't even know why that option is there. It doesn't exist, basically, outside of the campaign. It feels like they tried to make the campaign new player friendly by giving them these checkpoints and revives, but once you get to maps, it's like, fuck you, sorry, you get 1 life now, and you can't revive. I don't know, it's weird. Alva now has an option to gamble for items in your hideout. Hell yeah! You had to go to town for this before, that's cool. Reviving minions that died from being out of range now immediately revive next to you. Great. My brother is a minion build. He fucking hates this issue, so that's huge for him. Quest tracker now shows which quests are applicable for the area you're in. That's cool. Uncut gems now show their level on the item label. Great. Charms now display their number of charges and when they're active. I assume they mean down here. That's good. Updated the map icons for when you have completed quests, encounters, and found items to make it more clear. Dude, we spent like probably an hour to 2 hours yesterday on stream trying to just find the missing rewards we had. And it took us so long. Nobody could see it. We would like flick through the atlas. And it just, like, these little pluses are so hard to see on some of these areas that you just could not find things. Should you get Hand of Wisdom in action? You can. I don't have it. You don't, like, I'm not stacking for it. Like, one of these was, like, in a city. Like, this one kind of blends in. Some of them really blend in. This icon, I don't think it's an icon, but we spent, like, hours trying to find. This one, for example, blends in really well. It sucked. So this hopefully fixes that issue. I wish they would just add, like, a slash passives thing that we had in PoE1 to just tell you what you're missing. I was missing, like, 40% resistances and 2 skill points. I'm probably missing other shit that I just don't know about because it's really hard to tell what I'm missing. Added propagating weapon effect options to... I don't have any of my cosmetics yet. They all still don't work from PoE1. Arian's Cobble, Hardbound Loop, Iron Ride, and other uniques have received 2D art. Cool. Hand of Wisdom in action has received 3D art. Cool. Added flavor text. Great. After activating an Omen of Whittling, hovering over an item before applying a Chaos Orb will now display which modifier will be rerolled. That's cool. I've never seen an Omen of Whittling. I don't even know what that is, but I assume that this is something that they wanted. Improve performance of the Chimera boss fight, improve performance of Lava and Molten Vault, reduce screen clutter, and improve performance of the effects that play when killing rare monster objectives in endgame maps. Cool. Improve performance of areas with very bright lights that cast many shadows, notably the Temple of Kopek. Yeah, dude, this place... Ziggurat Refuge takes ages for me to load. Temple of Kopek is like the pyramid with a bunch of sun pillar in the middle, right? Both of these are laggy as shit for me. Improve performance of Ziggurat Encampment in order to reduce the occurrence of unloaded textures. Again, this place takes forever for me to load. Burning ground can no longer spawn underneath interactables such as levers. The augury map with burning ground, you have to open those 3 levers to open the doors to the center. And if there is burning ground in front of the lever, it just kills you as you try to pull it, dude. It's so dumb. Monsters can no longer spawn near the entrance of a map. This often causes the player to be attacked immediately upon moving. Great. Hell yeah. Added keyword for honor resistance. Great. Can you add somewhere that displays it? Because I never was able to find mine. I might be overcapped. Delirium monsters are no longer untargetable during their emerge animation. We were bitching about this too. As a result, they should no longer push you during this. Fucking huge. Havoc, you could run Delirium without wanting to die. They would just like spawn from those little mirror shards and just shove you back 20 feet and be immune. It's so dumb. You can now pick up items and interact with objects while performing other actions. Cool. Attack in place stops movement option no longer prevents walking on skills that can be used while moving while using WASD movement. I play with mouse, so I have no experience with WASD, but I assume it's better for a lot of skills. Like if you're playing a ranged build or a caster, you probably want to be using WASD. But as a melee character, I just click things and swing at them, man. I don't know what's happening. Continue to improve sound art effect environments. Great. So, all of these unique changes, I'm not going to go through these one by one. I don't use any uniques. I know nothing about any uniques. But they said they're going to buff uniques. So I'm just going to quick glance at a few of these. This is a buff. This is a buff. This is a buff. Like, I assume all of these are just buffs to the uniques. So if you use any uniques or you want to use uniques, this should help them be more useful. I've said before that, like, every unique I've found so far is shit. I think all the common uniques just feel bad. Like, they don't do anything. And if you find one all leveling, you're like, wow, this is terrible. So I'm hoping that this makes uniques suddenly, like, at least not OP, but maybe they're good enough to use when you find them, for example. I'm hoping that's what this means, but there's a ton of unique changes, and they look to mostly just be buffs, so that's cool. Bug fixes, clients, instant crashes. Are any of these things that I know about? Fixed a bug where Herald of Ice was still exploding shattered enemies when the gem was set to be used with your currently inactive weapon set. Okay, I don't use a weapon set yet, so that doesn't matter to me, but that's funny. It was working when it was off. Concoction skills were considered bow skills. Rip potion builds? Is that the, like, throwing potion thing? You could scale them with bow damage. That's funny. Okay, so I'm gonna quick glance through these. I don't think I use... Oh, wait, what is this? Fixed a bug where tier 5 bows could not roll attack speed and rings couldn't roll life? Bro, what the hell? What? How could you do this? Oh, this one. I have this issue all the time. Fix a bug where you could be briefly unable to perform any skills after you try to interact with an object and dodge roll at the same time. This happens to me a lot. I didn't know what was causing it, but apparently they fixed it. So that's fucking great. Hate this shit. I don't think I use any of this stuff. Sorry, I'm just quick reading. I don't use a lot of these skills or know what they are, so I'm not gonna read all of these, but I'll link this in the description of this video. I assume it'll be on YouTube after this stream. I'm just trying to skim for anything that matters. Fixed a bug with dodge roll, which allowed the player to roll through bone walls and frost walls. Rip. Fixed a bug where you could roll off the Andorra caravan ramp. Like you just fall off the caravan. That's kind of funny. Man, I wish I could just fall off the caravan. Okay, I think that I don't know about any of this stuff. Wait, fix the bug where unbound avatar could gain stacks from inanimate objects. That's kind of fun. You could just like attack a pot and get stacks. Cool, cool. Alright, what else? Controller, I don't play on controller or console, but I assume these are good. Item filters for consoles are active, finally. I know this was a huge complaint, so this is here. If you're playing on console, you can actually get an item filter now. That's huge. I don't know why that wasn't enabled from the default beginning, but that's crazy. Oh shit! Microtransactions! Ugh! It's huge! We might have skins! You made my old Durgle's Crank build? That was a fun build, the ES cannot be interrupted recharge build. That was really fun. I think you could maybe make that happen again. There's some ways to do it now, I think. Like the start of your energy shield recharge can't be interrupted. But we might have some microtransactions now. Very cool. Handful of changes we didn't get ready in time. We'll get in these as soon as you're ready. So is this live already? Does it say? No, I just said today, right? I remember at the beginning. We have within like 24 hours, basically. Una's songs will not be playing correctly. This was unexpected for us to cause this much trouble to fix. They can't get her to play her song, dude. Fucking rip. Added multiple respawns to other Pinnacle content. Oh, I think this is after. Yeah, they haven't gotten this stuff in yet. And map waystone stash tabs. So they didn't mention anything about you getting a respawn in regular maps, right? I think it's still just gonna be one map, or one portal per map, or one death per map. You know what I'm trying to say? I wish they would fix that. You get chances for like the Arbiter of Ash, but you still only get one map. I wonder why they didn't add respawns to regular maps. They adjusted like the revive timer, but that literally doesn't work because you can't revive in maps. Only in the campaign. So hopefully we get more stuff soon. But this overall, I mean, this is a lot of shit people were complaining about. It's a huge buff to uniques. Hopefully it didn't kill anybody's builds too hard. They said they didn't want to make any severe meta changes until the economy reset, which was, I assume that means the next league, not this. Not in Standard League, I should say. They want it to be one life per map? Yeah, I don't get that. They're adding chances for bossing, which is cool, but like... Sometimes you just get one shot in a map, but I guess a lot of those have also been fixed. Like all the invisible things might have been fixed here too, so maybe it'll be easier to map without getting one shot. Because like all the one-shot mechanics pushed everyone to just build screen-clearing builds. You're not playing like you do in the campaign. Early on the campaign, I was playing like a... It felt more like Dark Souls, where I was like, you know, rolling around constantly and trying to dodge big hits and actually interacting with the game. Now it's like, in maps, I just walk up to a pack and touch it and it explodes. And if I don't explode it, there's a good chance that I just die. So, I don't know. The power gap between your campaign character without like twink gear is so insane compared to your endgame character, where you're literally just one-shotting everything if you're on a decent build. I'm sure a lot of builds are still playing like they're in the campaign, but I don't want to play that type of build. It gets really old really fast. When you have to just pay attention 100% of the time, and you have to use pots and roll and dodge everything every second, or you die. So hopefully they get their balance down where those builds are better and not as slow and painful to play, like the mace builds with the forced slow attack speed. I don't get why they did that. If you want melee to be like able to be played at a decent speed and not feel like ass, you can't force them to have slow attack speed. That just feels bad. And the one portal per map life thing, that you need to get rid of that. Maybe they should scale it to map tier. If they want it to be like the harder the difficulty, the less of chances you get, sure, do that. Give a tier 1 to 3 map like 4 portals or 5 portals or 6 portals to deaths, whatever. That's fine. But higher tier maps getting harder, sure, maybe they should have less respawns. I'd be fine with that. They mentioned something about the value of things in maps being higher because you can't respawn in them. I guess that makes sense, but the maps just feel like maps. It doesn't feel like you're getting some crazy amount of damage out of it, or a crazy amount of loot out of a regular map. You just, like, even your tier 1 maps, they are magic. You get 1 life. If you're just starting maps and you're still badly geared, but, like, poorly optimized, like, that's fine. You should be able to get multiple respawns in regular, like, beginner maps. I can understand not letting us have 6 deaths in, like, tier 15, 16, 18 maps, whatever. Or, like, high difficulty pinnacle bosses, but they definitely shouldn't give your starter maps 1 life. It's just a weird jump from the campaign. Campaign, you're like, oh, you died 75 times trying to do a map boss? That's fine. You can just keep respawning and trying. But you get into a map and you die once in the same way, and it's like, sorry, your map's gone. That's a weird disconnect to me, and I don't like it. But yeah, I'm glad this is happening. Hopefully this happens within the stream time, but if not, oh well, we did it. GG.